So, wow, we're on day 5 of the 29 days of love. And yesterday, I thought that we would dive straight into self love today. But I'm going to flip flop this a little bit because I think that I was putting the cart a little bit before the horse. So, in the 5 pillars of love, just to remind you, the 5 pillars are understanding what love really is, clarity, falling in love with you, creating a life that you love, and then attracting. And so I was ready to jump straight into the falling in love with you first portion. And then I realized, what about clarity? And I had this huge brainstorm yesterday. It was like, oh my gosh, okay, download. I'm skipping a step. So we're going to jump into that. We're going to jump into clarity. And so I have a gift for you. I created this for my clients, and we use it as a jumping off point. And it is so you can get clear about what it is that you want, not only in love, but in life. It's not huge, it's a clarity and manifestation journal. When I do one on one work with clients, I have a bigger workbook that we go through to gain absolute clarity about where they're going. This is a smaller version just to get started. I don't want to overwhelm. So, this is really going to be helpful. But this is my Finding Forever Love Clarity and Manifestation Journal. And there's links in the email that I sent out today. I will put a link right below this video in Finding Forever Love so that you can go in, and I'll put it in the files. I'll drop the PDF in the files so that you can go in and you can download your own copy. And I encourage you to do this. And we're going to go through it today. I'm just going to introduce you to it and tell you why it's important and how you can use it. And then over the next couple of days, we're going to go deep into some exercises that you can do using the Clarity and Manifestation Journal so that then as you go along for the rest of the 29 days, you've got a much clearer vision of what you're trying to create. Because the next pillar is going to be the falling in love pillar. And we're going to talk about falling in love with you first. And I'm going to give you all sorts of exercises and tools to be able to use to really fall in love with yourself. And this does incorporate self-care, but it goes much deeper than just self-care. And then from there, it is about creating a life that you absolutely love. And then the 5th pillar is attract, because we become magnetic for what it is that we want when we get into alignment with love and when we're super clear, when we've done all of these pillars. So in this manifestation journal, I begin it on page 1 with affirmations. This is kind of a little, there's a variety of things inside of here. And some of them are going to touch on various things because, again, we're warming up. We're priming the pump. We're just starting to experiment in different things. And so I love this first sheet because this is about affirmations. And I encourage my clients to take this first sheet and post it somewhere or put it on an index card so that you can refer to it every day and read them. Read them in the morning, read them at night. So I'll share some of them with you. And then, of course, when you download your own journal, you'll have them to keep. But the very first one is I am love. And then I am worthy of healthy, strong, forever love, and all this brings to me. Love has a positive impact on my life. It is safe for me to be vulnerable and authentic in love. I am grateful for all the love that is present in my life. I am rich with health, wealth, love, joy, and happiness. And love is abundant. And the more I give, the more I receive. So really simple affirmations just to kind of get you warmed up. And then when you fall asleep at night, it's like the last thing that you're really thinking about are these really beautiful affirmations. And then this is where it gets fun because this is clarity. And now you can use these kinds of things for anything that you want to manifest. But because we're talking about finding forever love, it's a 29 days of love. I do have a soulmate manifestation worksheet in here. And this worksheet, we create a clarity list. Now, this clarity list is designed with the focus on romantic love. But you know what? You can change it. You can change it to be about the ideal job, the ideal place you want to live, anything that you really want to manifest. But what I do have you do, and I think this is so important, is must-haves and would be nice are on one list, and then deal breakers are on another list. Again, this is specific to love, but you can change it up if you want to. So what are your must-haves and what are your deal breakers? What is it that would be nice to have? So must-haves, this would be really nice, and here's my deal breakers. Get really clear. Like, take a little time to set aside in a quiet place, ponder your life. Like, what do I really want in my life? What is a must-have for me? Health, fitness, exercise, nature, reading. When it comes to love, what's a must-have? Honesty, truth, connection, chemistry, compatibility. Like, you get to decide what would be nice. Oh, it would be nice to have a romantic partner that would send me flowers every single month or something. It would be nice to live on the beach. It would be nice to whatever it is, but they're not like must-haves. Like, I must. Some people have to. I must live on the beach. If I'm going to manifest my dream home, it must be on the beach. So you get to play with this. And then your deal breakers. Those are, think long and hard about these, because I've seen it coaching. I can't tell you guys hundreds of times where someone will put down a deal breaker and they're adamant, this is a deal breaker for me. And then they get in the situation. Have you ever done this? You fall in love, and then suddenly those hard lines that were deal breakers are a little bit wobbly. It's a little gray area. You're forgiving, you're making excuses, you're overlooking red flags, you're ignoring them. So what might have gone on your list as a deal breaker isn't quite a hard, fast deal breaker when you're faced with it, when you're falling in love, because you're like, you want to make excuses, you want to not believe it, you want to ignore red flags. Deal breakers are really important because it helps us with our clarity and it helps us with our own personal boundaries, because you do matter and your boundaries matter. And so it's a good idea to get ahead of it, knowing what your deal breakers are, so that then if that happens in the midst of whatever it is, maybe you have a deal breaker on the perfect job, a deal breaker on where you really want to live, and then you're willing to overlook it. As soon as you start being willing to overlook something, you can come back to this and go, oh, I don't know if I'm really, that was a deal breaker for me. Like, question yourself and hold yourself accountable for that. Be true to you. Don't abandon yourself. Your word should be law, not just for others, but for yourself. So if you don't mean it, don't say it. It's okay to not put it on the deal breaker list if it's not really something you want to adhere to. But if you put it down, honor your word. Then I go into the soulmate manifestation prompts. And these are a series of journal prompts that you can sit down and you can just answer these questions. And they're just yummy. They are meant to get you into a feeling state. Because when we manifest, like yesterday, we talked about energy, we talked about the body scan, we talked about raising and elevating your energy. So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch yesterday's, because that's what we talked about. Well, when you are trying to manifest, and over the next couple days, I'm going to be walking you through a process of creating your very own, either a vision journal, a vision board, something along those lines, a Pinterest board where you can visualize what you want to create and what you want to manifest into your life. And this includes love and other things, because remember, create, the fourth pillar, is creating a life that you absolutely love. So that's could be romantic love, but it could be more than that as well. And so we want to be all encompassing here. But anytime that you're manifesting, you want to stay in the energy of the feeling of it. It's not enough to just say it. It's not enough to just see it, to visualize it, to walk through it in your mind's eye. You have to be able to feel yourself in it, like really be present in it, feel it. I've done manifestations where, like, visualizations that I could feel like the goosebumps on my skin. It would bring tears to my eyes because of the pure gratitude of that life that I was living. And that feeling is what creates the energy to start attracting that. So these questions are set up on purpose to make you feel as if already. So these, again, are really about love. And I think I encourage you to use it for your love life, but you can use it for other things too. So, how does your soulmate make you feel? And what are some of the things that you two do together? How do you spend a Saturday afternoon together? Do all of these questions for soulmate manifestation, but also do all of these questions for falling in love with you manifestation. How do you want to spend a Saturday afternoon with you? When you're loving yourself, how do you feel? We're going to get into mirror work and things like that. It's really fun. So then the next page is mirror work and self-love. And there are prompts for this as well. So if you don't already have a journal, I would encourage you to get a journal because it's going to be like part of your process and you can take notes in it for the 29 days. So this is read your clarity list of must-haves and ask yourself, are these in alignment with who I am being and how I am living my life? When you have your list and you're crystal clear about what you want, for example, if I want to be healthy and fit and vibrant, are my daily actions and choices in alignment with that desire? If I am sitting on the couch watching Netflix 8 hours a day, eating a bag of Lay's potato chips and chocolate bars, I am so far out of alignment for what I'm saying that I really, really want. If I say I want to find the love of my life and I never leave my house and I don't want to be social and I'm just expecting him to show up on my doorstep, maybe the UPS guy, I'm out of alignment with what I say I really want. We have to be willing to follow up our desires with action steps that align with, I call it inspired action. So when we're clear about what we really want, we now are learning how to align our energy, and then we can get into inspired action to actually create it. So this is a series of questions, and I'm not going to go deep into mirror work today. That's going to literally be a call because of its own. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow because mirror work is just fabulous. It's so important. So I would love it if you would download this and set aside some quiet time so that you can get really clear about what it is you want. Once you know, you can then start invoking all of the other steps to be able to get it. Energy is critically important here. Do you know? Most of my clients have no idea. They think they know. But when we sit down and we get on our first coaching call and I say, what is it that you want? What is it? Describe for me your dream life. Describe for me a day in your ideal life. What does a day look like? What does a weekend look like? What does next year look like? Like, we really work backwards. What are your goals for 5 years? Well, what does that look like in 1 year? What does that look like this month? What does it look like this week? What does it look like today? Because it all adds up. And so I really encourage you to take some time and think about it. What is it that I really want? Where do I want to live? What is my purpose? What do I want in relationship? Why am I doing a series called the 29 Days of Love? What inside of me am I desiring? Do I want a romantic partner? Do I want to take my existing relationship up a notch and create next level love? Do I just want to educate myself? Do I want to heal from toxic cycles? Toxic love, it's never love. Let me be clear. Love is never toxic. It's people. And we go back to our stories. We get into these stories and then we create these patterns and we get into these cycles. And when we start to rewrite our love story, there's a piece of it that is required for us to move forward. And that is understanding what we really, really want. What are we moving forward to? And then what's blocking us? So often when we have trauma from the past, we've had toxic cycles and toxic relationships, we bring forward a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD, a lot of triggers, a lot of baggage, and it stands in the way of getting to where we want. So a lot of this is healing. And when we get into the deep 4 aspects of a healing process, that's going to help you with that as well. But one of the things I love is I heard this somewhere, to bring the lessons of the past forward, but leave the pain behind. And that means forgiveness of others and forgiveness of yourself. Remember, we talked about thought work, how our thoughts create our experience and our thoughts create our reality. We always have a choice. We can hang on to something with such a vice grip and never let it go, never forgive, because we feel this righteous anger that he did this to me or she did this to me and they did this, all the external, right? But bottom line is, the only person that suffers when you hold on to grudges and judgments and resentments and anger, and you focus your attention on the past of what hurts you, you're the one that suffers. It's hurting you inside. Love is the great elixir. Love is the healer. Love is always the answer. When you review Corinthians, the PDF that I sent you on day 1, love keeps no record of wrongs. It's not easy in our human. It's not easy. We definitely are taught to keep a record of wrongs. We can, what do we say? We can forgive, but we'll never forget. We cling to them. It's like a life raft, but it's armor. And if you really want to be free and you really want to experience love, it's time to armor down. You've got to be vulnerable and you've got to be willing to risk setting down the armor, choosing peace over war, choosing love, choosing forgiveness, letting go of judgments. That is the path that will set you free. And getting clear then, okay, what is it that I really want? Like, dream with this, have so much fun with this, dream, feel it to the point that it brings tears to your eyes because you can't wait. You're so excited, like this life that you're going to create. I love this idea of a blank canvas, that we always have an opportunity to look at our life and go, okay, blank canvas. If I was going to create from this day forward, what would I create? I'm the artist with the brush. What would I create? Because if you know that, then you can move towards that. But so often we're just stuck in the same old, day after day after day. And we know we want something different. We know that we're not completely satisfied, completely joyful, completely happy, but we don't know what it is. And we don't know what's blocking us. And so the number 1 step is clarity. Get clear. Have fun with this exercise. Download your workbook. There's also, when you follow the link and you sign up to get the workbook, you're going to be able to download it immediately as a PDF. And then it's also going to give you an invitation, because this is a free gift that I use for summits all the time. Whenever I'm a guest on someone's summit or podcast, and I give away the workbook, and I also offer a complimentary session with me. It's a love strategy call. And I offer that so that we can talk about this journal together. I can help you get clarity. I can help you remove the obstacles, and we can map out a strategy for your love life and for where you want to go. So if that's something that interests you, then when you get the link, you're going to get a link to my calendar, and just hop on. book a call with me and let's meet. I would love that so much. You have no idea. I love connecting with the people that are following me, and we can see what the next steps are for you in your love life. All right, tomorrow. So the pillars. We're on clarity. We're going to move into self-love. We're going to talk about mirror work. We're going to talk about the difference between self-care and self-love. They are integrated, but they're not the same. So a lot of times we think a bubble bath is self-love. It's self-care and it's part of self-love, but self-love is different. So we're going to talk about that. So I hope that you will join me tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here live today. Leave me a comment. Any questions that you have, please use that Facebook group to be interactive, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.